That is a 7.3 liter POWERSTROKE diesel in a 1951 chopped Ford custom shoebox. I like to call it my stroke box. Don't judge me. The motor's not locked in yet. It's just kind of sitting in the general area it needs to be, and boy, does she take up a whole lot of real estate. I love it. I'm a little nervous about it, but I love it. I don't know where we're gonna go, how we're gonna get it, but we gotta get this thing so it's attached to the frame. The transmission's attached to the frame. Then we can start building the floor, start wiring it. You know, everything else that goes into it. I don't know where we go from here. I kind of been kicking around and looking at it and staring at it for a while. Now it's just time to make some things happen. I think I'm gonna ditch the rubber mounts just because there's a whole lot of clearance issues there, and I don't know that I want to mess with any of that. And I'm probably just gonna solid mount it. I mean, I understand I'm gonna feel some of the vibrations through the frame, but I'm not daily driving this thing, so it'll be fine. It's just, I mean, it's a rat rod, it'll be all right. If I absolutely do not like it, in the future, I can change whatever I want because it's mine, and that's how that works. So I think I'm gonna drop these out and then look at mounting right to there. To me, that seems like the best option, because I mean, I could even remove this, I suppose, and mount directly to the block, but I think I'm gonna mount right to this, because that brings everything down to a nice angle. Getting everything squared and centered and at the right height has been a bit tricky, but I think we're pretty close. So I'm just gonna start by taking those out of there and see where we end up. I'll probably just maybe cut this off of here and use that steel, because that's, I mean, that's still good steel. I kind of wondered about this when I was doing my measurements and doing my best to make sure everything was square with this thing. These motor mounts are side specific, and if you look at them, one is definitely longer than the other one, and one's at more of an angle than the other one. So I would have drove myself mad trying to square this motor up off of these. I mean, they're clearly at different angles. So, just a little tip for you. Don't just assume things are symmetrical from one side to the other. No, they are, and these are not. So we're gonna cut these plates off. I think if I just cut either side, I'll at least be able to have this piece of steel in the middle. Hopefully that's one solid piece, or I'm gonna be sorely disappointed. It's like brand new in there. Maybe not the greatest choice. Work with me, sucker! Oh, this wasn't supposed to be this difficult. I got rubber all over me now. Son of a, I didn't even notice that. This isn't going the way I planned. Well, it took a combination of hammer and a screwdriver, a razor blade, and some grinding, but we got fresh metal, clean metal, plates ready to go. Was that easier than just building a new plate? I mean, probably not for some, but for me it was. I mean, everything's located, the holes are right where they need to be. I know it's strong enough because that's what they used. 45 minutes worth of work and I got 2 plates already. Also, this helps keep costs down because I don't have to buy more steel. I have monkeyed and monkeyed and monkeyed and monkeyed with this thing. I think I'm finally happy with the fitment. I hope. I'm committed. I'm doing it. It's just what it is. I gotta just decide and deal with it. Hold on, let me shut the radio off so I don't get in trouble for that. probably need to find my phone for that. There it is. All right, where was I? Motor, that's what we were talking about. I have it got, speak. I have got it right side heavy because this is a large motor and I need to make sure I've got clearance here for steering components. I figure, you know, some of the older cars for big blocks and small blocks, the big blocks would be mounted further to the right and higher, so this shouldn't be a problem to have it mounted a little to the side. I won't tell nobody if you don't tell nobody. It also actually works out better for me for my rear end because my rear end's not centered from the factory. She's a little off to the right as well. So all in all, it should be good. That should be a good decision that I'm making. I've got the motor sitting about as good as I think it needs to be. We have about a 4-degree drop on the shaft. So I think that'll be fine. I hope. That's what we're gonna go with. Somehow we gotta get a mount up in there. You can kind of see the shiny metal. That's where the mount's gotta go. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of room to work with, but I think we can make something happen. I'm not concerned about it not working yet. We'll just make it work. And here's the view from the back. I mean, it looks like it's coming straight back here. This is one of those times where a guy, mainly me, just needs to stop over analyzing and just start doing. Simon says, just start cutting and welding. It'll figure itself out in the end, or it won't. Ain't gonna lie, folks. Your boy Simon here, he's been staring at this motor all day long, trying to figure out how to make a motor mount work, and it hasn't been going real great. Yeah, it hasn't been going real great. It's been all day, and literally I have done zero today other than try and come up with a plan, and it has not worked. On the other hand, Jeff came over and took my axles for me. I was trying to sell the axles and get them money back in the budget, but they weren't selling, and I was sick of looking at them, and I don't want my neighbors to start calling the city on me, so I called Jeff up and said, hey, you know what? You helped me out a bunch. You're building a car that could use this axle. You can have it. So he's taking the axles and dealing with that for now. I'll get the scrap price and everything for the rest of the frame. I'll scrap all that and get that money back. So I got that coming for me, but Jeff's brain works way faster than mine. And he comes over here and looks at it and goes, oh, just do this and that and this and that and done. Don't overthink it. And I was absolutely 100% overthinking it. I got some 1/2-inch plate. We're gonna use that, put that up in there, and then just kind of box it in a little bit, and it'll be good to go. It ain't gonna look real pretty, and it ain't gonna be all fancy, but honestly, once the fenders are on here, nobody's even gonna see them, so it'll be a-okay. Well, look at that mount, would ya? That thing turned out pretty stout. I'm pretty happy with that. We'll get her buzzed in here quick and see how she looks. I can hold it because it's the next day. I let her cool naturally overnight. That way we try and limit the amount of warpage we get. I've done that before and screwed up. So we should be good on this one. Let's get her buzzed in. Now, ideally, I should be able to bolt that mount up in there. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Make sure everything's sitting where it needs to set. Get her tacked into the frame. Unbolt the mount. Lift the motor up, and give her a full-on weld. Well, lift the motor up as much as I have to. It's heavy. We got her in there. She ain't pretty, but she's in there. Those welds are not of my top quality. I'm not sure if you can even see those, but it's not real fun to get at. I pulled the motor back out. That was super awesome to do by myself. I can't get the welder into it. I can't get the motor out anymore by myself, so it's kind of stuck where it's at the moment. But it's in there. We just welded it a lot. Hopefully it's enough. I'm gonna put a little gusset in there too, you know, just something to give myself a little peace of mind because, like I said, the welds aren't great. It's not ideal conditions. I mean, look how dirty I am from just trying to get a weld in there. It's ridiculous, but it's worth it. At least that's what I'm telling myself. You know, sometimes a guy's just got to take a break and step away from his project and give himself a little relax time. I should have done that today. I did not. But there's always tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow I'll take a break from it. I don't have time to be screwing around. I got to get this thing done. So let's see if the motor will go back on it and lock into place and we're good to go. Or I've got to get it all apart and cut it out again and redo it. I'm hoping for not the latter. Well, it's official. One motor mount in and complete. It's down there. It looks okay. Like I said, I'm gonna probably put a gusset in there. I haven't done that yet. I wanted the motor locked in its location, so when I weld on it, it doesn't want to try and pull it left or right or whatever. So before I even do that, I'll probably put this one in. This one's probably gonna be similar, but hopefully a little easier, because at least this one I can see. It's not sitting down and behind the cross member. We're slowly getting there. Just keep trucking along. Slowly getting there. Get that motor mount done. Get the trans mount done. Start building the floor. Start getting wiring going. We'll be rocking and rolling before you know it. Rolling smoke. Blowing coal. Wait, reverse that. Hell yeah. Let's get the next one knocked out. We are doing our best here. It is not going great. I do not do well with angles, but it's in there. So I just gotta take it out, weld it all up, and make sure she's good. I'm probably gonna gusset it one or two different ways. I don't know. I feel like it needs something, but I'm not an engineer, so what do I know? But so that's where we're at with it. Kind of kicked it over and went down to the flat piece. A little easier to see and hopefully a little easier to weld this time. Should be fine. I'm only a little concerned it won't be fine. We can always fix it later, right? I don't want to have to fix it later. Well, here she is, all welded up. She's still smoking because I found some more rubber from that mount. Oops, so she stinks. We'll just leave her outside and cool down all natural and stuff. Hopefully avoid some of that warpage. We'll see what happens. We'll pick it up tomorrow and hopefully we'll be slapping it in. Then all we're left to do is mount the transmission. We can start working on the floor and wiring and all that fun stuff. Hopefully. Oh, probably should work on some steering too. Eee. That's gonna be tricky. Well, I just got home from work. It is the next day and we can actually touch this thing now, so that's pretty good. It turned out pretty okay. I mean, it may not look great to some people, but for me, it's gonna function. And I'm all about function. Ooh, I feel like I'm naked because I'm not wearing my hat. Where's my hat? I might add a little kicker, you know, from here to here or something, I don't know. We'll get it in and see what it looks like. How about that for a plan? One thing about me is I'm always making mistakes and I'm always trying to learn from them, and I'm willing to share them with you. I'm not hiding the fact that I make mistakes. And my most recent one is I'm not very good with cutting angles, and we got a little gappage going on here, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I think if we just take a piece of 3/16 plate, we'll weld that to the chassis, and then that can weld to the motor mount. And I think our gap situation is fixed and it is no longer an issue. Granted, it's not ideal, it's not correct, and preferably you'd like to just make the correct cut the first time. I'm me, so this is what we're doing. Well, again, she ain't pretty, but she's there. I'm more confident in the hold on this one than I am the other one, but either way, I think we're good. Now, as long as when I release the chain, it doesn't all just crash to the floor, which is highly probable, we're good. We can move on to the trans mount. Here we go. Ooh. Lower. Lower. The car is officially holding its own weight of the motor. No more hook, no more chain. She went all the way down. We may have to just check our transmission at this point because that frame went down farther and the transmission stayed where it was. So we'll have to figure that math out and see if we're okay there. Damn, that's a heavy motor.